Welcome back to our channel, where we bring you the most critical and compelling news stories from Nigeria and the West African region. Today, the world is focused on a very tense diplomatic incident, the forced landing and brief detention of 11 Nigerian soldiers and their military aircraft in Burkina Faso. This is not just a regular aviation story, it is a clear sign of the serious breakdown in trust between Nigeria and its neighbors in the Sahel. We are going to break down the full, interesting gist of this event for you. Here is the simple fact: a large Nigerian Air Force transport plane, AC-130, was forced to land in Bobo-Dioulasso, a city in Burkina Faso. On board were 2 crew members and 9 passengers, all Nigerian military personnel, making a total of 11 officers. Burkinabe authorities immediately took control of the situation, and the tension immediately went through the roof. Why did this happen? Well, we have 2 very different stories, and you need to hear both sides to understand the real drama. First, Nigeria's account from the Nigerian Air Force. They said the plane was on a routine ferry mission, meaning it was traveling to Portugal for necessary maintenance. Shortly after taking off from Lagos, the crew noticed a technical problem with the aircraft. This is a safety issue. According to universal aviation safety rules, when there is an emergency or a safety concern, the pilot must land at the nearest available airfield. That nearest airfield was Bobo-Dioulasso. The Nigerian Air Force insists this was a precautionary landing done strictly by international aviation protocols to protect lives and the aircraft. They said their crew was safe and received cordial treatment. However, the second story, coming from Burkina Faso and the Alliance of Sahel States, AES. The group formed by the military government of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, is far more aggressive. They say the Nigerian aircraft was forced to land because it violated their national airspace without authorization. The AES conducted an investigation and concluded there was a complete absence of authorization for a military plane to fly over their territory. They called Nigeria's action an unfriendly act and a clear violation of their national sovereignty. This is the key point of the entire story. Nigeria claims emergency landing based on universal safety law, while Burkina Faso claims airspace violation based on national sovereignty. Before we go deeper into the why, please, if you are finding this breakdown useful and interesting, tap that like button right now. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Post Niger News so you don't miss any of our breaking reports. Now, why is this simple incident a major crisis? The answer is the politics of ECOWAS versus the AES. Nigeria is the strong leader of ECOWAS, which has been pushing back against the military coups in the Sahel countries. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have officially left ECOWAS and formed the AES, viewing Nigeria and ECOWAS as hostile to their new military governments. Because of this deep mistrust, when a Nigerian military transport plane, the same kind of aircraft that can move troops and equipment, appears unexpectedly, the AES sees it as a threat. We recently saw Nigeria help the Republic of Benin to foil a coup attempt, and that action angered the military juntas in the AES. So, they were already on high alert. The AES even put out a statement saying their air defense systems are on maximum alert and authorized to neutralize any aircraft that violates their airspace. This tells you the level of tension we are dealing with. The good news that has emerged is that the 11 Nigerian officers were released by the Burkinabe authorities after questioning and were allowed to return to Nigeria. This shows that behind the scenes, high-level diplomatic work was able to successfully de-escalate the situation. However, the bigger problem remains. This total lack of trust means simple things like sharing airspace or coordinating security in the region are now extremely difficult. It creates a very dangerous situation where an aviation mistake could easily turn into a diplomatic or even a military crisis. This event is a clear example of how the political division in West Africa is affecting every level of regional cooperation. That's right, let's bring this critical story to a close and talk about the larger implications this incident has for Nigeria's standing in West Africa. We know the core facts. Nigeria claims a precautionary landing due to a technical issue. Burkina Faso claims a violation of sovereignty and forced the Nigerian military plane down. The 11 Nigerian officers were eventually released, but the political message sent by the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, was loud and clear: we are hostile, and we will protect our space. This event is far more than just a misunderstanding. It is a defining moment that shows the end of easy Nigerian regional dominance. For decades, Nigeria, as the regional giant and ECOWAS leader, could operate with a certain level of diplomatic ease across West Africa. Today, with the rise of the AES, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, that easy flow of cooperation is gone. The AES countries are actively working against Nigeria's influence. They are not just defying ECOWAS sanctions, they are setting up a rival security and political structure. This forced landing is a calculated move to assert their independence and send a strong signal to President Bola Tinubu and ECOWAS: they will not tolerate even the appearance of Nigerian military intrusion. For Nigeria, this incident presents a major diplomatic challenge. The government must be careful not to overreact, as that could further escalate tensions and push the entire region toward a more volatile state. Diplomacy is the only way forward here. Nigeria must keep channels of communication open, even with governments it fundamentally disagrees with, to ensure incidents like this do not lead to actual armed conflict. This lack of trust is a severe setback for the region's stability, especially in the fight against terrorism and banditry. When key countries won't even cooperate on airspace clearance, coordinated security action against non-state actors becomes nearly impossible. So, here is the final takeaway, folks. The forced landing in Burkina Faso is a stark indicator of the new, fragmented, and much more dangerous political reality in West Africa. Nigeria must now navigate a region where its leadership is actively contested and military alliances are rapidly shifting. This demands extreme caution and smart diplomacy from our leaders. As a final reminder, if you believe this story is important and our analysis was clear, please like this video right now. And subscribe to Pulse Niger News so you don't miss our continuous coverage on regional security and politics. I also want to leave you with one final question for the comment section: what specific diplomatic steps should President Tinubu take next to lower the temperature with the AES countries? Should we pursue dialogue, or maintain the firm stance of ECOWAS? Let us know. Thank you so much for joining us. We will keep you updated. Bye for now.